Okay, yes, we are going to get started. It is 5:30 p.m. Let me get the agenda shared. Okay, so I'd like to call this meeting to order. Secretary Mattern will work on the roll call as we go. So the first thing up is approving last week's minutes. So again, we did not get them done in time to be able to email them out. I do apologize. Next week we'll have that done. But these are the minutes for last week. If you'd like them in more detail, I will send them on, but just a brief look. Okay. Any questions about this? All right, great. I'd like to entertain a motion to approve or to vote to approve last week's minutes.
Second.
All in favor, raise your hand, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay. Any abstentions? Fantastic, that passes unanimously. Again, for our virtual attendants that are senators, if you'd like to vote, just use the little emoji feature. That's probably the easiest. Okay. Moving right along, we have open forum. Is anyone here for open forum? Anybody? Let me check Zoom. Okay. Seeing none, we'll go ahead and move on. So I would like to introduce our first guest, Taylor Clark from the Student Counseling Center. Taylor, if you'd like to come up here to the front near the microphone so our virtual guests can hear you. And then let me share this document.
And I'm going to pass around. So I'm just going to be talking about Wellness Wednesdays, and I made a handout of all the events we have going on. That way you guys could all have a copy. I made 20, hopefully that's enough.
Zoom attendees, can you guys see the Wellness Wednesday document? Justin or Justin, can y'all see the document?
Where is it?
Okay, you should be seeing it on your screen. Screen sharing the Wellness Wednesdays document.
Gotcha. Yeah, I'm good.
Okay, fantastic.
Okay.
Okay,
cool. Yeah, so everyone should be getting a handout, but the whole idea is, I know we're in the Student Counseling Center, we're upstairs in the UC, and it's often a very hidden thing for students. And you guys come into more contact with students than anyone else. And so we want to create more outreach events. And so the idea is every Wednesday that we're going to have from 11 to 1, kind of being downstairs at a table in the UC. And then at the end of the month, like doing a bigger event outside on Harvey Deck. And so these are kind of our themes of the month, like September right now, we did self-compassion. You guys were awesome to come out last Wednesday that we did. And so we're just hoping we can kind of rotate and have more students there and provide more peer support, because that's a lot more powerful than me kind of saying, hey, come to counseling or things like that. So we're gonna have different themes. Also this Friday, they're doing like a Dean of Students night with women's volleyball. They're going to have kind of a blue out giveaway. And then the biggest thing in September at the end of the month is we're going to have a suicide awareness walk. And so if you guys would like to come out to that, we would love y'all's support and tell other students about it, because we can have these events, but if students aren't there and they don't know about it, then it's not really helpful. And so we're really hoping that you guys can kind of be on the advocacy end of that. So we're going to have that, hopefully have t-shirts giveaway. We're partnering with East Texas Crisis Center. So they'll be coming out and having tabling. And so that's our idea. We're working on the food truck situation. So we'll keep you posted there. Maybe Fokios, but no promises. And then October is kind of this mindfulness theme. And we're hoping to do an art show based on hope, because a lot of times, during COVID, it's been really hard for people. And so we're trying to say, okay, if you want to create art, you want to bring it to the show. And the idea is that we're going to start in the UC, kind of have art downstairs and have it going up to the counseling center so people know where it is. And then we're hoping to partner with the art department and art club to have little canvases downstairs. So on those Wellness Wednesdays, downstairs in the UC, people can create canvases if they want to be a part of it. And on October 20th, Domestic Violence Awareness Month is also October. We're partnering with East Texas Crisis Center and Title IX to have some tabling outside and hoping to have like Purple Purse giveaway. So that's another event we have going on before that. And then November is really focusing on purpose. And we're going to have little plant pots. So if you guys want to do that or tell your friends, bring them. If anyone wants to work the table, let us know and we would love to have you. And then also veteran awareness. So I think that's on Monday, November 8th. We're going to have yoga for veterans. And then also there's a Wellness Wednesday vet fair honoring veterans on the 10th. And then the biggest event is at the end of the semester, December 1st. We really want to have De-Stress Fest. And the whole idea is that we make this campus-wide, working with student engagement and kind of have, you know, volleyball, disc golf, whatever games, canoe races, whatever you think students would like. So I'm open to ideas there. We hope to have therapy pets, but we're working on that. That's why there's a hopefully there. So if y'all think of things that you think students would like, let us know and we'll try and make it happen. So we hope you guys are a part of it and thank y'all for letting me come to your meeting. And I look forward to working with y'all.
So just as a reminder, a lot of these events on this Wellness Wednesday sheet are already built into our SGA calendar. The intention is we would have as many representatives there as possible just to be supportive of these programs. And with the De-Stress Fest, do you guys have any other ideas of things you think would really help students or that would be popular during finals week? No?
Give me a week.
Okay, okay. Ashlyn,
Are we gonna bring back the bag?
finals week bag, that's through SGA. So we can absolutely look into that.
Y'all think games like volleyball and stuff, that way y'all think that would be
So the question is whether these like volleyball and canoe racing and things like that would be popular for our Zoom attendees. Everybody thinks
Yes.
sort of yes?
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. So it sounds like stuff like that, just recreational activities would be a go. Awesome, okay. Moving on, next up we have Dr. Howard Patterson. You guys requested last week that we have Dr. Howard Patterson as well as Director McGill come give us some additional information about the proposed fee increases. So Dr. Patterson was kind enough to join us from the airport, if you can't tell. So we should definitely be grateful to him for that. And Dr. Patterson, the floor is yours.
Well, thank you. Good evening. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Great. Okay. Good evening, President Jennings and Senators. I appreciate the opportunity to speak to you this evening and answer any questions that you might have about the proposed fee increase. I'm still in Denver with the women's golf team, although we board in about 20 minutes. So please, if you have any questions, I hope that you'll be able to ask those this evening. A lot of questions have been asked as to why there's a fee increase or a proposal. And the simple reason, there are several simple reasons for that. Number one is when we submitted our Division II provisional membership budget, we were joining the Lone Star Conference. 1 year after we got into our provisional status, the Lone Star Conference admitted 7 additional institutions. And they range from as close as Dallas Baptist to as far away as Lubbock and TAM International down in the Valley. Those were not in our budget. We have to go compete against those schools. We have to play against those schools. We have to host them at home. So our travel budget increased tremendously. And that's one of the biggest challenges that we've had to face over the last 2 years, having been finally admitted to full NCAA status this past year. Excuse me, I can't take my mask off or they'll arrest me. So our conference now spans 950 miles from left to right, and it spans 707 miles from north to south. That's a lot of travel that our student athletes have to participate in. The funds that would be increased or generated as a result of this referendum of adding $2 to the current fee per semester credit hour and then another $2 for FY23, those funds would be used to increase or help us with our increased travel costs, facility updates, preventative maintenance and repairs. Our facilities are now starting to show a little bit of age. The Patriot Center was opened in September of '03. Subsequent facilities will open in the next 2 or 3 years. So all of those facilities are starting to show a little wear and tear. We need money to take care of that. In Division II, you have year-round practice and competition. So again, the number of matches that we're participating in has gone up. We've had to rebrand with the T for uniforms, for gear, facilities. I think we're almost done with that, thankfully, but there's a rumor that there may be another rebrand. Our recruiting expenses have gone up exponentially because recruiting in Division II is very, very competitive. We're not only competing against Division II schools, we're competing against the mid-range to the low-range D1 schools. NCAA has mandates on staffing levels and new positions, so we've had to add, and we will continue to add positions to meet those mandates. Coaching staff salaries have increased slightly, but they need to increase more just to stay competitive within the Lone Star Conference. The last thing I want to do is to start losing head coaches to other conference schools because we're $10,000 or $15,000 a year below what they're paying. So far, we've been able to stave that off, but I don't know going forward whether we'll be able to or not. Lastly, I'll share with you that in the Lone Star Conference for the FY21 fees, I don't have 22 fees yet for everybody. UT Tyler was the lowest fee in the conference at $16 per semester credit hour. The next lowest was Midwestern at 17. The highest was Texas Women's University at 36, and they have 15,000 students. So you can see that our fee structure is extremely reasonable and extremely low, and it really does need to go up in order for us to remain competitive and to keep our current staff and to be able to add appropriate staff as our programs increase. I'd be glad to answer any questions that anyone has, and hopefully by the time I log off here and jump on the plane, no one will have any questions about why this referendum is so important.
Anybody have questions? Okay, so Dr. Patterson, the question is whether it would be a $2 increase per credit hour in 22 and a $2 per credit hour increase in 23, or
I believe,
per semester.
I'm sorry, I believe the proposal is for a $2 semester credit hour increase in the spring of 22. So that puts it up to 18, and in the fall of 22 for fiscal year 23, there would be another $2 increase that would get us up to 20, which is still way below the average. There's only, well, there are three, everybody in the conference except the 3 schools is below 20, is above 20 rather.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions? Awesome. Well, thank you, Dr. Patterson, for attending and answering those questions for us. It's very helpful, and we wish you a safe flight.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Everybody have a good evening, and thanks for what you do.
Thank you. Awesome. And our last guest for speakers podium is Director Rick McGill. He is coming to talk to us about the rec sports and HPC's portion of the proposed fee increase. The microphone is right here, so if you want to just stand, it's that machine thing.
Okay.
So if you want to stand there, so they can.
Perfect. Okay. Just here to kind of brief you like Dr. Patterson did on the proposed fee increase. The rec sports facility fee has not been increased since 2003 when the facility opened. Our current semesterly fee is $40. The Texas state institution average is right around 100 to 105 per semester. So just to give you an idea of where we fall in that category. So the proposal is $20 for the first year, an additional $15 for the next year. So if it were to pass, we would get to $75 a semester. Still quite a bit below the state average, obviously, but those added funds would allow us to do several things programmatically and also within the facility. So currently, Like Dr. Patterson mentioned, our facilities at the age that they are starting to show more wear and tear. We've had to do several different large facility renovations or maintenance projects, for example, updating the pool, keeping it safe to use, things like that. So to this point, we've been able to access reserve funds or ask for one-time requests or, maybe cut back on programming or do other things to find that funding. However, obviously, those are not ideal situations. So the fee would obviously help us with those increasing needs that we have. It would also allow us to expand our programming, what we offer for our students, and improve the facility so that we can better serve the students as well. Some of the projects that we have on the list, a front desk renovation for safety and security of the building and use by our staff. It also will increase the square footage of the rec center, of the fitness floor, which if you've ever been in the rec center at say 3 o'clock on a weekday, it's very, very busy, hard to find machines, different things like that. So that would obviously help us. The other part of this funding request is right now, in order to offset our costs and keep the building open and keep it functional, we have to rent out the HPC to outside groups. We also are open for community memberships in order to generate revenue. And so right now our budget line asks us to make about $250,000 in revenue to meet quote unquote budget. And so if you come into the rec center at 3 o'clock, it is packed. Some of that could be because of community members that we're taking memberships from in order to offset those costs, or you come in to play basketball and we may have, an outside group renting the facility in order to generate that revenue as well. And so one of the things with this fee increase that we are hopeful that we can do is cut some of that out in order to offer more back to the students that are paying that fee. Obviously, that fee increase, we have a plan in the coming years to get some big projects done, but then as we move through those, we also have plans to add some staffing as well in order to offer more programming in specifically wellness and outdoor adventures. Right now, all of our assistant directors in the department have several different titles that fall under them and several different programming areas that fall under them. And so obviously, as we stretch people out across those areas, our programming cannot be as robust as we would like. So that's kind of the general basis behind why we want to have this fee passed and what we would do with it. I know you guys saw the presentation, I think, a couple times, some of you have. So if you have any specific questions about the plans with the fee or anything else, please let me know.
Should be a $40 increase overall?
It would be 35. So right now it's $40 a semester, and then after the 2 years, it would be 75.
Ashley?
How do you promote to like people learning about the fee increase and everything?
So all we've been able to do is provide education specifically to this room or anyone else that asks us for that, but we're not necessarily promoting to get that vote.
Have you educated a lot of people?
I feel that we have. It's been, so just a little bit of background. This was scheduled to go to vote prior to COVID. And so it's been an ongoing process of, trying to get the word out to students, making sure that we're looking at what students want. And that's one thing I didn't mention. So our end of the year survey, the things that the students tell us that they want are the things that we're trying to target immediately with the fee increase. So increased time in the gym, increased time on the intramural field, different fitness programming late at night, those type of things are the things we want to target right away. So I think as far as educationally, I do feel like we've done a good job, but we've also in the past, before this was going to vote, we were leaning on the senators, obviously, to take this idea and educate rather than us promote, because we obviously, are for the fee increase, and we want the students to just have the information to be able to make that decision themselves.
Any other questions? Okay. Awesome.
Great.
Well, thank you for
Yeah,
coming.
thank
to
you very
speak with
much.
us, Director McGill. Okay. Moving right along down our agenda, next up is officer reports. So I will start. This weekend, as some of you may know, Ashlyn and I were in Austin for UT SAC, which is it's the UT System Student Advisory Council. Basically, two representatives from all of the UT system institutions come together and discuss system-wide issues. That was a great learning opportunity. We're looking forward to going back a couple more times this year, and in the meantime, working on some various research items to benefit all of our campuses. Some exciting news, I got elected as the undergraduate committee chair. So I'm now in charge of a committee of 8 of the academic institutions in UT system, which is sort of crazy, but very much exciting for our school and the things that I'll get to bring back, as well as Ashlyn. So that's been the biggest thing I've worked on. I also had a media meeting with the Patriot Talon to discuss some ways that they can help us get the word out to students that we're meeting and what we're meeting about. So we really appreciate our representatives here tonight. And then other than that, I've just been meeting left and right with various students and some different organizations that are hoping to get started. And that's been really exciting to see students excited to be here this semester. So moving on to Vice President Savinoff. Oh, hold on just a second. Let me preface. Whenever I ask you to speak again, until we get the microphone, make sure you come up to the front so that our virtual attendants can hear, okay?
Okay, so this week I'm working on Constitution Day, getting all of the last minute stuff settled down for that. We will be ordering Bruno's pizza. No, I can't get this out right. I'm really sorry. It's gonna be pizza or pepperoni, sausage, and cheese. What we have in our budget. And then working with Tammy Hill to get everything nailed down for midnight breakfast and also some fall festival events. And then everything else is in committee.
Awesome. Moving right along to Secretary Mattern.
Okay, hi guys, is it right here?
Yeah.
We went to Austin this weekend. I had a great time. If you ever have the opportunity to do it, please go. I've been working, I'm sorry about the minutes. I will get them sent in before 15 minutes for the meeting. I've been working on a swag. We got our shirts in today. We just ordered the tablecloths. I put the purchase order in for that. And then the Constitution Day, we're working on that. So, or I'm not, I'm helping y'all dress up. So that's it.
Thank you. Treasurer Limbrick is in Houston dealing with flooding and power outages. So y'all be thinking of him, but he is not present this evening. Last but not least is Chief of Staff Smith.
So I've been working on finalizing for the Constitution, the updates that are needed, and then we are hopefully going to vote on that this
Next week.
next week. And then tomorrow, I meet, as well as a few others, with Katie Hernandez to discuss recycling programs, and then I'll be helping out with Constitution Day. And the first half of Monday, I spent lobbying to get chicken Alfredo pizza, but that obviously failed. So that's been my week.
Awesome. Chicken Alfredo pizza has been highly requested. Unfortunately, we will not be having that, but hopefully you guys will still come out to Constitution Day. If chicken Alfredo pizza is not there, maybe us dressed as pioneer townspeople is enough to get you there. I'm just saying.
It's also my birthday.
It's also Vice President Savinoff's birthday. Basically, you're personally responsible for the success or failure of Jennifer's birthday. Okay, moving right along to committee reports. First up is Events Committee. Events Committee?
Okay. Okay, so for events committee today, we did call Bruno's. Unfortunately, the one guy there that knows how to handle the tax exempt forms was not there. So we will be ordering the pizzas tomorrow morning. And then Adon and I are working on a painting pumpkins event for Fall Festival. Very exciting. And then trying to find something else to fit into that week. However, we also have midnight breakfast, hay rides, trunk or treat, several other events that week. So if y'all have any good ideas of like some low effort but still fun activities, because I don't want anybody to get burnt out trying to do everything all at once. Yeah, that's about it.
Yes, the week of October 25th is Patriot Days, and so we have some events built into that, including midnight breakfast, which I don't know if you guys have experienced it, but it's a tradition here. It's super fun. We're going all out this year.
Yeah, show of hands, who has not attended a midnight breakfast?
I think most everyone. Yeah. So get prepared. We're flipping pancakes, people. It's going to be fun. But we really are trying to add on to the fun of Patriot Days. We're looking at some Fall Fest events just to, I don't know, spice it up. Okay, moving right along to Communications Committee.
Okay, me and Valerie met yesterday. Thanks for coming. She was the only one over for that. We just talked about the post and everything, Constitution Day. Thank you for posting that post. I've been extremely busy. The elections are coming up and Thursday is the last day for people to get on the ballot, right?
Yeah.
And so if you know anybody, I highly suggest that like you talk to them, but only if they want to do it. Don't like pressure them or anything. And that's it, I think. So.
Yep, we post about the election far in advance. It's been on our Instagram, it's been on the website, but definitely this is the week before. It starts on Monday. So as our current senators, we'd love it if y'all would share the Instagram post and hype it up. You know, we want people to be excited that they're getting new representatives because it makes our Senate more representative of the community, which is important. Okay, SGAC, Josh, were you able to attend that? Do you know what they went over this week? Okay. Okay. Sure. Okay. Yes, we do. I believe last time I checked, we have 4 requests from student organizations for funding. So that's definitely important that we fill that committee friends here in the Senate. So yeah, for our virtual attendees, Josh just said that they didn't hear any requests from organizations on Thursday. So, or just got, and I do know that we have our new budget for the 21-22 fiscal year. So we'll hear that next week as well, presented. Okay, Rules Committee.
So Rules Committee met yesterday and we basically just discussed the changes that were made and any additional information that needed to be added to it or taken away from it. And tomorrow, or not tomorrow, but sometime this week, I will hopefully be meeting with Josh to discuss some of the changes, and then moving forward, we'll be able to put a vote to it.
Environmental sustainability.
So this week we met yesterday, and we were talking about this idea that Justin had about perhaps doing a thing where we get people from, or students from throughout the campus to come and bring their gently used clothes that they would just generally throw away, and either have something where we can donate it or sell it, preferably like have them like sell it and trade it and whatnot, kind of like that, kind of like a, not to use the term garage sale, but
Swap shop.
yeah, there, that's a better idea because we were struggling for a name on it. But we also had like a plan B, doing like just like we take it and we donate it to an organization here in the community that just helps people out in need. And we're going to try to incorporate some element of that in it regardless, but it's still very preliminary and we don't really have any dates associated with it. I don't remember if I'm forgetting anything.
And you're attending the meeting tomorrow?
Yes, I
as
am
well?
attending the meeting tomorrow. with Katie. So excited about that. But yeah, I think that's everything. Unless Justin wants to chime in about his idea, because it is his idea.
Yeah, so essentially, it would be kind of like a student run flea market kind of deal where like everybody can take their clothes that they're not really wanting anymore and they can either try to like pawn it or swap it with other students. There's definitely ways we were trying to approach this, whether it's kind of like let it run by student organizations and then they run tables and stuff like that. But I think it would be a pretty fun event. And then at the end of the day, if people still do have pieces of clothing that they weren't able to trade or whatnot, we would just take it to a homeless shelter. And then plan B to that would be kind of trying to do something this fall and do like a jacket drive to bring to a homeless shelter.
Yeah, really great ideas. And for those of you in the room, reusing and repurposing clothing is absolutely environmentally sustainable. So that's a really cool initiative, and I'm proud of you guys for getting that started. Okay, and then lastly, GSA committee. I'm going to host the first meeting next week. I'm planning on doing this one bi-monthly just so that we're not bogging down our graduate students. However, if the need arises to have it more frequently, I'm definitely open to that. Since all of you in here are undergraduates, you know, if you'd like to attend to hear from our graduate students, you're absolutely welcome to, but it's up to you all. That one will be hosted virtually around lunchtime next Thursday. I'm hoping to catch as many graduate students on lunch breaks as possible. Okay, moving on to student voice reports. First up, we have the College of Arts and Sciences. So that's Chloe, and David. In whatever order you guys would like to go, make sure you come up and stand by the microphone, please. Rock, paper, scissors, I don't care. Thank you.
This is going to be underwhelming, but I really don't have much to report at the moment. I've just been trying to get my house done.
Sure. Thank you for your honesty.
So I've been really busy, but I plan to go to the College of Arts and Sciences building this week and look at signs. And if I don't see anything for the sign for advising, if I don't see anything, I want to go and talk to someone about that in advising to get some signs going on. Because there was signs in the theater building, wherever it was, and there's not anymore. So,
For those of you that don't know, the CAS building underwent a renovation this summer. And so advising for that college moved buildings for a while, and now they moved back, but there's not really signage indicating that, nor did an email go out. So we're working to make sure that students know where those advisors are located, especially as we get increasingly closer to spring registration in November. Okay, and then other Chloe.
So I don't really have anything so far either, but I just wanted to follow up because I mentioned the chairs the first time and those have been looking better. I noticed that they're like more organized in rows when I get in there. I think there are still some classes that have too many, but I'm not sure if there's just like storage there yet. And then another thing that I was thinking about is like, since it went through a renovation, I don't think any of the teachers' offices have moved, but I didn't know if there was like a campus or like a building like directory. Does that make sense? Like when you walk in, is there like something that tells you? I don't know if that was something that we could do or like have maybe like teachers like put it in their syllabus or something like that.
Sure, I know most of them do, but we can look
Yeah,
into that.
They
for
have,
sure.
I know they have their numbers because my teacher
Yeah.
the other day, he asked me to go get something from his office and he was like, do you know where it is? And I kind of had to find it a little bit, so I didn't really know. But yeah, that's all I have.
Okay, thank you. Yes.
I actually do have a comment on the chairs. They put too many in the room. Most of them they're pushing so that there's only 50% capacity. They're pushing them to the front. They don't have anywhere to store them.
Okay.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
if anybody's looking for a senator project, there are still chalkboards in the cast.
There are chalkboards in the CAS building.
Oh,
Good to know.
the AC is working.
The AC is working.
Yeah.
Good, good. We're glad to hear that. We don't want students to melt. Okay, moving on to College of Business, that's Senator Govea and Senator Scott. Go ahead.
Nothing too crazy for a report. I'm gonna try to meet with Amy Russo to see what kind of initiatives she's trying to push out. I know she sends a whole bunch of emails to me, to Casey, about just internship opportunities that I really appreciate. I don't know if your career success coaches are doing the same thing, but there's always internship opportunities that she's pushing out. So I'm gonna just try to see if she can start doing that a whole lot more. I really enjoy reading through them. Nothing really ever applies to me, but I mean, it's fun to read them. I'm gonna try to also meet with Chris Swinberge, just so I can get a nice, one-on-one experience with him. I've met him before, but like, I don't think he knows who I am, like, one-on-one. So I think that'll be pretty fun. And then nothing really to report.
Is it the whole department that like helps the internships and everything like that?
The career success coaches are primarily the ones that gather things and put them on Handshake. Awesome. Thank you very much. Senator Scott?
And there's nothing really new to report on my end. I've tried asking some students, but they're really busy since. Nothing really new on my end. I've tried asking some students around about their experience on it. I do know that for all our classes, even I've attended, exams have been coming up, so they've been a bit more pressed on that and trying to get into like SI, TA stuff. But other than that, the only real complaint I heard was prior to census, just getting in contact with advisors, but that seems to be more of a all colleges thing rather than just a college of business thing.
Okay, thank you very much. I have two thoughts for College of Business. Number one would be great thinking on the dean meeting. As a reminder, it's not a formal constitution expectation, but something we really encourage is for you to try and meet with your dean at least once a semester. It really, in my experience as a College of Business senator, was a great way to know what's going on kind of above the student in your college. I actually got to attend a couple of like administrative meetings for the College of Business because I reached out to Dr. Swinberge. Very cool opportunity and a great way to advocate for our students. So if you need help figuring out the contact information for your dean or they're not responding for whatever reason, let me know and I'll see what I can do. But those are really beneficial meetings. Okay, and last but not least for student voice reports, we have our new senator for Patriot Village, Senator Arnold.
Okay, so I've talked to a couple of students this week just to see if they had any pressing concerns that they wanted me to bring up, and they seem to be satisfied with the facility, I guess. And then I know we're having health and safety this week, so I'm hoping that those will go well. And there was a staff meeting today where the RAs will probably talk about that. And then yesterday we had a, I guess, program about student accessibility resources. So hopefully the students feel more informed on that. And that's kind of all I have.
Great, thank you. Awesome. I appreciate all that you guys do to keep your finger on the pulse. It's really important. Okay, moving right along to old business. Does anyone have anything to bring up? Secretary Mattern. Okay. Awesome. You have the floor. Come up to the front, please. Sorry, we need to be able to hear.
I think we're all in agreement. I'm not gonna speak for everybody. Let me know or not. That we should probably put it on the ballot, but not this upcoming ballot. When would be a good time to do that then? If we can educate students and everything like that. When should we have a special referendum? Is that right? That's my question.
So as Secretary Mattern brought up, we're not voting on whether or not to increase the fee. We're voting on whether or not to put it on a ballot before students, if that makes sense. Is there any question about that? Senator Chalmers? Yes. A ballot goes out to the entire student population and it has to win by a simple majority in order to go into effect. Senator McNamara. Okay, so the question was whether or not we should gauge student opinion. We did a survey in the spring to do just that. I can pull it up if you guys would like. That could be helpful information. Give me a second. Hmm. Hold on, y'all. Josh, where is the one with the fee increase information? What I was thinking. Oh, the senator one. That was why. Oh. Josh. My apologies, y'all. We do have it somewhere. Do you have it where you can find it, or should I just? Okay. Bear with us. I also wanted to comment on career success while we're waiting. You know, you mentioned about our career success coaches sending internships and stuff out. We found out at UT SAC this weekend that apparently is not common practice, and most UT system schools do not get nearly the help and resources that we do. So I would definitely encourage y'all to take advantage of those resources because they spend a lot of time collecting those opportunities for us. Do we have other thoughts, comments, questions about the fee increases while we're waiting? Hold on, raise your hand, please. Okay. Sure. Senator Connor suggested mid-October. (2021) Thank you. Oh, wait. Okay. Okay, that's the Cowan Center. We're here now. Okay, so this is the one for athletics, the $2 per semester credit hour. So just to clarify, like if I was taking 15 hours, that'd be a $30 increase in my semester. You guys get how that works? Okay, great. So it's $2 per semester credit hour for the spring and then an additional $2 for the fall. So it would effectively be a $4 per semester credit hour increase. So this is how the results turned out. As you can see, it was 30% said that they would be interested and 55% said not interested. 15% said unsure. Secretary Matter. You can comment on this. Yes.
I guess I ask a question. Was this, we did this before anybody had entered any information of it, right?
Yes. So we had not done any formal education at this point. It went out on our spring ballot. So this past spring that y'all were elected on. We didn't do any formal education, but like Director McGill said, This has been an ongoing conversation since fall 2019, so some students have an idea about it. But we have not done any formal education at this point.
So if we were to do it in October, that would give us about, like mid-October, that would give us about a month, correct?
Yeah.
To inform students of it and then, let them vote on it.
Mhm.
Okay.
Thank you.
How would we inform them?
So the question is how we would inform students if we decided to put this on the ballot. That's really up to y'all. I mean, there's a variety of methods that we could use, whether it be through social media, town halls, tabling, flyers. We have a lot of resources in that area, and we would be able to use marketing to help us create some things if we wanted to. So there's really a variety of ways. Any other questions before I move on to the next page? Okay. This one is for the rec center fee. This survey, I would note, is only based on the primary increase. Same with the other. It only talks about the two. So they didn't ask for the opinion based on the entirety of the increase for both years. So that's just something to note. Again, 29% interested, 58% uninterested, and 13% unsure. Any questions about this before I move on? And then this is just for y'all's information as well. Some different renovations that students would like to see. As you can see, a significant portion of them said none, I ever used the facility. But the top other things would be increased amount of gym equipment and increased floor space, which if you do use the HPC, that is definitely a need. Okay, and then this was other, so there's lists and lists here. Okay. Any other questions about this? Secretary Matter?
Motion.
Okay.
Second.
Okay. Secretary Matter?
Motion to vote to add the increase to the ballot, not the.
You have to specify.
Motion to vote to put the fee increase on a special referendum in mid-October.
Okay. Josh? Also, please come up to the front so that we can hear you. We have wireless mics coming in and it will be a lot easier, but for now, we really do need to make sure everyone can hear. You got this.
I'm scared, I'm sweating. Motion to put the fee increase on a special referendum ballot on October 21st.
Josh?
A day. Can we do a full day?
Only one day? So let me just, I'd like to clarify, our election that's coming up on Monday is open from midnight on the 20th through 4 p.m. on the 22nd. So that's kind of a typical range of time. We can do longer or shorter if you'd like to motion that, but just to give you a place to start.
I'll do 3 days. Okay, so from the 19th, the 22nd. Would Josh create the ballot?
Yes, we
Okay.
can't have any influence on that.
Okay. I would like to motion to put the fee increase on a special referendum ballot from October 19th at 12 a.m. to October 22nd to 12 p.m. probably did it right.
Okay,
She raised your hand.
No, I was saying earlier, I think not the special election, that's part of the conversation. Is how should this process be handled? You know, how long should this be, I wanna make sure. As Casey said earlier, there are confusion whether this should go before the students. And I think the next conversation we have is how should it go before? You know, what is the education? How long should the special election take the referendum? I'm looking at the rule. Doesn't specify the time, so.
Yeah.
Voting takes place this week. 2 days, with closed just now is day and a half. So those are things that I questions about what is the best course of action that's in the best interest.
sure. So for our virtual attendance, Josh just recommended that we consider how we want it to go before the student, and what the education looks like and all of that.
Would the education be a different discussion though?
It could be.
Impact your education. But if you book, and that's when you're like, okay, then that's not really it.
Okay. So can I take away everything I just said?
Just motion to revoke your prior
Okay,
motion.
motion to revoke my prior motion. Okay.
Awesome, thank you. Okay, so based on what advisor needs just offered to the conversation, I think that maybe the best place to start would be to consider what you guys think would be effective education.
The special referendum.
Awesome, Senator, you have the
so-
floor.
So it is about a month that we're getting four posts on Instagram once every week, just updating it with new information about what it is, what exactly you could benefit from it, how much it's gonna increase all, just 4 posts that we can make on Instagram. That's super easy. Communication committee could really tackle that head on if anything. And if you guys would like the table for the UC, that would be fine, but I don't know how people will react to that. But I think just social media pushing would be the best way to approach this.
I'm not sure, are we allowed to send out an email about this?
Senator Tawner,
Not PowerPoint, like,
are we allowed to send out the PowerPoints? I mean, we could absolutely ask them for permission to do so, but not just, like right now, I would not feel comfortable just sending them out, no. I think the question that would be most helpful to me would be, what platform do you guys see the most of? You know what I mean? Consider what you see events on, what you get information from when it comes to UT Tyler.
I think probably if we can do both, like Instagram and email, because I know
Instagram and email,
I
okay?
don't get on Instagram like at all. So I think, if it pops up in my email, like I would be more inclined to read it. So I think it was both. And we can even link like the same pictures that we post on Instagram,
Mhm.
like directly into, we don't have to make something separate.
Okay. So Senator Harrison's suggestion was that we could just embed the posts we create for Instagram into an email to the student body. Any other suggestions when it comes to education? Senator McNamara?
I like the tabling. Because
Tabling?
you see, even if it's like free something or it interests.
Sure. Tabling could be good. Secretary Matter?
On location, the tabling, we do the HPC.
Could we do the HPC for tabling, hypothetically?
Sometimes I think it's like priorities and then put, the little flyers like on the UC table.
Okay,
Whenever people sit down, they like look at them.
Mhm.
and they sit down. I think
Sure.
that could be-
small flyers on all the tables in the UC. Go ahead.
I don't know what to do about this stuff, but also like tagging with the organization so they can search on the story.
Okay,
Like I'm putting in a track. If I got tracked in that space, I would then search it on my story, on my
Sure.
track story, and then that would then get to even more people.
Mhm.
So if you tag people, then they're more likely to like put it on their story.
yeah. Senator Turner's suggestion was to tag other student orgs in the post so that they can reshare it easily. Anyone else have suggestions? Okay, so now that we kind of have a game plan, hypothetically, education-wise, let's go back to the discussion of whether or not we want to put it on a ballot, and if so, when. Because we have our ideas of what we would like to do hypothetically. And now the question is, how long do you guys think that that will take in order to make sure that as many students as possible have this information in their hands?
I personally think it was about a little too, but that's.
Okay.
I know this has been underway for a little bit, but
Senator Dick said that potentially that October would be too soon in order to get this education out to students.
I would agree, but I also think we need to make sure like it goes out before finals week, because the finals week, everybody's
Senator Harrison said that he sort of agrees, but also doesn't want it to interfere with finals.
I mean, sorry. But, maybe, I know we meet once a week, so it's like, all of those ideas, how long is it gonna take to get all of that put together and all of that out there? And is there gonna be enough time? Being that we meet once a
Sure. Senator McNamara is wondering whether we would have enough time in October based on the fact that we meet weekly. I would remind you that the communications committee would also be tackling this, so it would effectively be twice a week that we would have teams discussing this if we decide to do it. Anyone else have thoughts? Secretary Mattern,
When is the Thanksgiving break?
when is Thanksgiving break? It is the 22nd through the 27th that week. Any other thoughts or action items in this? Senator Arnold?
I would say that like, we need enough time to be confident, so we also don't want to have too long of a series where it's not fresh on their minds and then kind of forget.
Sure. Sure. So Senator Arnold said that we do need enough time to educate, but also a short enough time that it's fresh on students' minds and they aren't like over it essentially. Okay. Great ideas. This is how great things are made. Secretary Mattern.
Okay, so length of time wise, would we want to start on the very beginning of a weekday, start in the middle? How would you all want to go about that? If we did like a 3-day period for voting.
Secretary or Senator Scott.
I think it should be a full week.
He suggested that it should be open a full week. Okay, potentially a Monday through a Friday. Okay. So it seems like Everybody sort of agrees that maybe a week long would be good to give plenty of time for students to vote. Now, consider if we're gonna do this, when? Senator Chauner? The latest it should be is the week before Thanksgiving. I think, I'd try not to input my opinion, but I would agree based on the fact that there's only one class week following Thanksgiving prior to finals. That is cutting it pretty close to the end of the semester. So if we're going to do it this semester, I would say that it's probably a good idea to say earlier than Thanksgiving break. Secretary Matter?
So would we say the week before the week of Thanksgiving, right? Like, okay, so Thanksgiving.
You
break
can.
is the 22nd to the 26th. The week before that is the 15th to the 19th. The week before that is the 8th to the 12th. Would we do the 8th to the 12th?
It's up to y'all.
I mean, I feel like there's a lot of exams going on before Thanksgiving break, not finals, but like, I'll have an exam and stuff like that. I feel like other people will.
Senator Chauner? Senator Chauner suggests the first week in November.
I agree.
Okay. There's still no action items on the table.
So we would agree to put the special ballot, special referendum, go first, open Mondays and Fridays.
If that's what you guys would like to do, someone has to motion to vote on it. If you're gonna motion, make sure you come to the front so we can hear. Senator Scott? If we have it open for a week, can we have a table in the middle of that week? Josh, are we allowed to do tabling during a special referendum? Right.
In-house polling station, copy, and have campaigning.
So since educating students would be effectively campaigning, we would not be allowed to? Okay, so yeah, that's what I would have leaned towards anyway, but the answer there would be no, just to be safe. So whatever week, if you guys decide that we're gonna do that, it would end essentially the Friday before. Senator Chauner?
Motion to open a vote for the special referendum on fee increases on the 1st of November at 12 a.m. and close on the 5th of November at 11:59 p.m.
Okay. All in favor, say aye. And please keep your hands up so Secretary Mattern can count. Virtual attendees, you guys can use your thumbs up emoji. Do you have a count? No. All opposed, please say nay and also raise your hand. Any abstentions? Okay, so that passes unanimously. Both fee increases will go on a special election ballot for the referendum from November 1st at midnight to November 5th at 11:59. Awesome. I entertain a motion to close this discussion.
Carrie said motion.
Awesome. Anything else to add to old business? Okay, seeing none, we'll move on to new business. Does anyone have any new topics to bring up? Awesome. Seeing none, we will move on to advisor comment.
All right,
Josh, will you please come up here so our virtual attendees can hear you?
what if I profile? Will that work?
It's not picking you up.
Oh,
Sorry. I'll stand far away. It will make it easier.
I will make it easier. All right, so a few things. I left the minutes, very detailed. We just need to make sure that y'all are reviewing those in advance. And so it's good that y'all are still going through it in case there are issues, but make sure minutes are very important. And for what y'all just voted on, having minutes like that detailed are good. Because then you're going to be able to see what y'all clearly voted on. So make sure that y'all are reviewing those and you are voting. It's in the past, student government would just move it through, and that's kind of dangerous. And so it's important that y'all need to be looking at that. When y'all have guest speakers, especially important ones that on a very important topic like today, make sure to ask questions. I think a lot of y'all had some answers already. But every time we have a guest speaker, y'all should be taking advantage of that and asking as many questions as you possibly can, so that when y'all get to the discussion aspect in your new business, it goes a lot smoother. On committees, I want to reemphasize, make sure that y'all are attending committees. If your committee hasn't met, make sure y'all are trying to find times to meet. And then ideally moving forward, when it gets to committee reports, I'd like to hear from the senators, not from the officers. Officers get their fair share of time during their officer reports. Now it's your time as senators on those committees to kind of report back on what's taking place. There was a comment mentioned about like a flea market. If there's money involved, and if y'all move forward with that idea, and if there's money involved, please talk to me first. Because there's a lot of rules behind conducting business on the state property. So if there's no money involved and doing like a t-shirt swap, that's a lot more feasible. But if all of a sudden you're trying to sell, that's a different conversation. I think and a lot of y'all are learning Robert's Rules of Order. We don't need to get caught up in, we don't need to let that hinder us in how business is conducted. It is okay to vote no on things, because if you think, you know what, I want to help re-propose that, or I want to redo it, it's okay to vote no on the standing motion and then redo it. There's nothing wrong with that. So it's okay to rediscuss and to re-motion and to re-vote on different things. And so that's to help make sure that it is Robert's Rules of Order are in place to help business be conducted efficiently. When it comes to education on the fee increases, what I've seen in the past and what I've seen at other institutions that I've been at that have had referendums, anything and everything. It's especially with a campus of our size, with 5 campuses now. Y'all need to make sure that y'all are getting the information out there as much as you possibly can. And you've got to hear from the university side on why they are requesting fee increases, but students don't always understand that. And since you are representing your constituents, that is why SGA has historically been responsible for the education piece, because you've heard both sides now. And now it's time to help get the other information out there, so that way they can make an informed decision on whether it should pass or not. My concern is, with an election coming up this next week and new senators on the horizon for next week, it's going to be important to also get their input on this. And I know y'all vote to move forward with it, but it's having your new senators have a say in this process is going to be important. So hearing their feedback on how they feel about the fee increases, the education behind it, and then answering any questions or concerns that they may have. From a university side, I do want to encourage, if you're involved in student groups, please make sure your student organization is fully registered before hosting events, using Patriots Engage, and using the check-in feature on Patriots Engage. That's really important. And then jokingly, I was going to say I'm in support of chicken Alfredo. And so that does kind of sound good right now. But all joking, all kidding aside. Yeah. So, any questions for me? What's going on?
Not.
And
I can't wait till it's mine.
We appreciate you advising me. Okay, moving on briefly to announcements. Constitution Day is on Friday, 12 to 2 in the UC. As we mentioned, there will be pizza, super cute t-shirts, like super cute, and they are really cute. We can't emphasize that enough. They're cute. And there will also be super cute e-board members dressed as colonial townspeople. So y'all have that to look forward to. Yeah. As a reminder, that is mandatory. You don't have to stay the entire 2 hours, but you do have to at least stop by, grab a slice of pizza, grab a t-shirt, do some trivia. Yeah, you do have to stop by, and if you're absolutely 100% unable, because it's mandatory, you do have to submit an absence request. The deadline for this one would be tomorrow at noon. So if it's submitted after that, it's going to be unapproved. And then another reminder for Friday, the Blue Out game that Taylor mentioned, that's being hosted by the Dean of Students office. It's at 6 p.m. They're doing a tailgate for the volleyball game. It's going to be super hype. Any other announcements? Anybody have anything to announce? Senator Tawner? Sure. I would just say to let whatever e-board member that is there know. I know that Jennifer was there for the Thrive event. That was the first one that we've had. So we will keep a track of it that way. Great question.
And if you don't see one of us there, just take a selfie
Yeah.
and submit it.
Yeah, that's what I said with the 9/11 one. If there's not an e-board member there, just take a photo and we'll count that towards your attendance. Yes. Do what? Oh, so for non-mandatory events, we're doing event points, and whoever has the most will win an award at the end of the semester. So to prove that you were there, you either have to take a selfie or check in with a new board member. Any other announcements? Awesome. Okay, and then down here at the bottom, next week we'll have the Houston campus speak to us for student voice reports, as well as nursing and health sciences and student body at large. Okay, I entertain a motion to adjourn. All in favor, say aye and raise your hand. All opposed, say nay and raise your hand. And any abstentions? Awesome. Well, thank you guys for being here. See you next week.